What would you do if you found a dying dog wearing a military collar from a war that ended 16 years ago? That's not a mystery novel. That's what happened to Axel on a frozen January morning in Montana. The dog was old, emaciated, hours from death, but around his neck was a collar that told a story no one had heard in over a decade. A story of a handler who never came home, a canine partner who disappeared, and a bond so strong that 16 years, 2 wars, and thousands of miles couldn't break it. This is that story, and what Axel discovered will haunt you long after this video ends. Where are you watching from? Drop your location below, and if stories about loyalty that transcends time move you, hit that like button. You're going to need it. Now let's begin. Axel was checking his trap line when he heard it, a sound that didn't belong in the Montana wilderness. Weak, rhythmic, desperate, breathing. He stopped. Ash and Frost both went on alert, ears forward, noses working. You hear that? The sound came from off the trail, deep in the woods where no one had reason to go. Axel moved toward it. 20 yards in, he found the source. A German shepherd, lying in the snow, not moving, barely breathing. Jesus. Axel dropped to his knees beside the dog, male, old, maybe 12, 13 years, severely malnourished, ribs visible, fur matted and filthy, eyes sunken, but alive, barely. Hey, boy, hey, I've got you. The dog's eyes opened slightly, clouded with age and exhaustion. No fear, no fight left, just resignation. I'm done. Let me go. Not yet, buddy, not yet. Axel checked him over. No obvious injuries, no blood, just starvation, dehydration, exposure. This dog had been out here a long time, surviving, until he couldn't anymore. That's when Axel saw it, the collar. Not a regular collar, a tactical collar, military grade, faded, worn, but unmistakable, and attached to it, a metal tag. Axel leaned closer, read the engraving. Titan K9 MWD, Iraq 2008. Handler, Sergeant M. Chen. Axel's blood went cold. A military working dog from Iraq 2008, that was 16 years ago. Titan? Axel whispered. The dog's ear twitched at the name. Recognition. You're Titan. You're a war dog. Axel's mind raced. How was this dog here, in Montana, alone, after 16 years? Military working dogs were tracked, accounted for. They didn't just disappear, unless something had gone very wrong. Okay, Titan, I'm getting you out of here. Axel carefully lifted the old dog. He was lighter than he should be, felt like bones wrapped in fur. Don't die on me. Not yet, not before I figure out your story. The drive to Dr. Reeves' clinic took 30 minutes. Titan lay in the back seat, breathing shallow, fading. Ash and Frost sat with him, keeping him warm, keeping him company. Axel called ahead. Helena, emergency, old German shepherd, severe malnutrition, exposure, he's critical. Bring him in, I'll be ready. There's something else. He's wearing a military collar from Iraq, 2008. Silence. What? Yeah, I don't know how he got here, but he's a war dog, and he's dying. Get him here, fast. Dr. Reeves was waiting when Axel pulled up. One look at Titan and her face went grim. He's in bad shape, Axel. Can you save him? I can try, but he's old, malnourished. His organs might be shutting down. They rushed him inside. Dr. Reeves started IV fluids immediately, drew blood, checked vitals. Heart rate weak, temp low, severe dehydration, possible kidney failure. She worked fast, professional, focused. But Axel could see the concern in her eyes. After 20 minutes, she sat back. He's stable for now, but Axel, he's 13, maybe 14 years old. That's ancient for a German shepherd, especially one who's clearly been through hell. Will he make it? I don't know. Next 48 hours are critical, if his kidneys are failing. She didn't finish. Axel looked at Titan, hooked up to IVs, sedated, barely there, but the collar was still around his neck. Can I see that? Dr. Reeves asked, pointing. Axel carefully unbuckled it, handed it over. Dr. Reeves examined it closely. This is real, military issue. See this serial number? That's registered. This dog was official. So what's he doing alone in Montana 16 years later? That's what we need to find out. While Titan rested, Axel started researching. He took photos of the collar, the tags, the serial number. Then he called Maria. I need your help with something. Military database access. Can you do it? Depends. What are we looking for? A war dog named Titan. Handler was Sergeant M. Chen, Iraq 2008. That's 16 years ago, Axel. I know, but this dog is real, and he's dying. I need to know his story. Maria was quiet. Then, give me an hour. 45 minutes later, she called back. Her voice was different, serious. Axel, I found it, but you're not going to like this. Tell me. Titan, German Shepherd, military working dog, deployed to Iraq in 2007. Handler was Sergeant Michael Chen, 1st Infantry Division. Okay, what happened? March 2008, Chen and Titan were on patrol in Anbar province. Their convoy was ambushed, IED followed by small arms fire. Axel's chest tightened. Chen was killed? No, worse. He's listed as MIA, missing in action. What? The report says Chen and Titan pursued insurgents into a building. There was an explosion. When the dust cleared, Chen was gone. So was Titan. They searched? For weeks, found nothing. Eventually, Chen was listed as MIA, presumed KIA. Titan was listed as lost in action. Axel felt sick. And nobody found them in 16 years? Axel, Maria's voice was heavy. There were hundreds of MIAs from that war. Not all of them came home. Chen's family held a memorial in 2010. He's on the wall at Arlington, but his body was never recovered. And Titan? Military working dogs who die in service usually get buried with honors, but Titan's status was missing. He just disappeared from the records. Axel looked at the old dog sleeping in the clinic. Until now. Yeah, until now. Axel, how did this dog end up in Montana? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Over the next 2 days, Titan slowly stabilized. His kidneys were damaged but functioning. His body was responding to fluids and nutrition. He was going to survive, at least for now. On the 3rd day, he woke up. Really woke up. Axel was sitting beside him when Titan's eyes opened, clear, alert. For the first time, Axel saw the intelligence there. This wasn't just an old dog. This was a warrior. Hey, Titan, welcome back. Titan's head turned slightly, looking at Axel, assessing. Who are you? Why am I here? I found you in the woods. You were dying. I brought you here. Titan stared at him, then slowly, painfully tried to stand. Easy, boy. Easy. You're not ready. But Titan kept trying, struggling, determined. I don't stay down. I'm a soldier. Axel gently placed a hand on his shoulder. I know what you are. I saw your collar. I know you served. At the word served, Titan stopped struggling, looked at Axel with those knowing eyes. You understand? Yeah, buddy, I understand. Axel showed him the collar. This is yours. Sergeant Chen was your handler. At Chen's name, Titan's entire body went rigid. His ears shot forward, his eyes widened, and a sound came from deep in his chest. A whine, desperate, yearning. Chen. Where's Chen? I don't know, boy. That's what I'm trying to find out. Axel made more calls. First to the Defense POW MIA accounting agency. They confirmed Maria's information. Sergeant Michael Chen, missing since March 2008, presumed dead, body never recovered, no updates in 14 years. And the dog? Axel asked. I'm sorry, who are you again? I'm the guy who just found Chen's military working dog alive in Montana. Silence. That's impossible. I'm looking at him right now. Serial number matches. He's 13 years old, and he's been surviving alone for God knows how long. More silence. Mr. Martinez, if what you're saying is true, this is significant. That dog is military property, and if he survived, then maybe Chen did too. We can't speculate. I'm not speculating. I'm asking. If the dog made it back, could Chen have made it back? Mr. Martinez, we've had no intelligence suggesting Sergeant Chen survived, and even if he did, it's been 16 years. So you're saying give up? I'm saying don't give false hope to a family that's been grieving for over a decade. Axel hung up, looked at Titan. The old dog was watching him. Don't give up, please. Find him. I'm not giving up, boy, I promise. That night, Axel did something he hadn't done in years. He reached out to old military contacts, People he'd served with, people who knew people, left messages, sent emails, looking for anyone who'd been in Anbar province in 2008, anyone who remembered Sergeant Chen and his dog. 3 days later, he got a call. "This Axel Martinez?" "Yeah." "My name's Derek Walsh. I served with Mike Chen. I was there the day he disappeared." Axel's heart raced. "Tell me what happened." "We were on patrol, hit by an IED. Chen and his dog, Titan, they chased the triggerman into a building. We heard gunfire, then the building collapsed." "What do you mean, collapsed?" "Secondary explosion. Maybe planted charges, maybe accident, but the whole structure came down." "And you didn't find them?" "We tried, dug for days, but Axel..." Walsh's voice cracked. "There was nothing. No bodies, no gear, nothing. It was like they vanished." "What if they didn't die in that building?" "What? What if they got out? What if they survived?" Walsh was quiet. "We looked, for weeks. If Chen was alive, he would have made contact. Unless he couldn't." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I found his dog, 16 years later, alive, in Montana. If Titan survived, then maybe Mike did too." "Will you help me?" "Axel, I don't know what you think you're going to find. Hope. I'm going to find hope. For that dog. For Chen's family. For everyone who thinks he's gone." Walsh was silent for a long moment. Then, "Tell me what you need." Sergeant Michael Chen checked his gear one more time. Body armor, ammunition, radio, water, and most importantly, he checked on Titan. The 3-year-old German Shepherd sat at attention, alert, ready, focused. "You ready, boy?" Titan's tail wagged once. All business. They'd been partners for 18 months, deployed together, worked together, saved each other's lives more times than Chen could count. Titan was an explosives detection dog, the best in the unit. He'd found 12 IEDs in the past 6 months, saved dozens of lives. But more than that, he was Chen's family, his brother, the one constant in the chaos. "All right, team," Lieutenant Morrison called out. "Standard patrol. Route Irish to the marketplace. Stay sharp. Intel says the area's been quiet, but that doesn't mean safe." The convoy rolled out. 4 Humvees, 20 soldiers, 1 K9 team. Chen sat in the second vehicle, Titan beside him. The dog's nose was always working, always alert. 15 minutes into patrol, Titan's head snapped to the left. Body went rigid. Chen knew that posture. "Contact! Titan's alerting!" The convoy stopped. Chen and Titan dismounted, moved forward carefully. Titan led them to a pile of rubble by the roadside. Sat. The signal for explosives detected. "IED confirmed," Chen radioed. "Marking location." EOD moved in, disarmed the device. "Good boy," Chen said, giving Titan his reward toy. "That's my boy." They continued patrol, reached the marketplace. Everything seemed normal. Then, boom, the lead vehicle erupted. IED. Gunfire immediately followed from the buildings. Ambush. Return fire. Chaos. Chen grabbed Titan, took cover behind the Humvee. "Stay close." Through the smoke and gunfire, Chen saw movement, a figure running from a building, military-age male, heading for an alley. "Runner, northeast." Chen made a decision. "Titan, track." They pursued, into the alley, through narrow streets. The insurgent disappeared into a 3-story building. Chen radioed. "In pursuit, target entered structure at grid." Gunfire cut him off, rounds hitting the wall beside him. Chen returned fire, moved into the building, Titan at his side, snarling, protecting. They cleared the first floor. Nothing. Started up the stairs. That's when Chen heard it, ticking. "Oh God! Titan! Out! Out!" He turned to run. The explosion hit. The world went white, then black. Present day, Montana. Axel listened to Derek Walsh describe the aftermath. "When we got to the building, it was gone. Just a crater and rubble. We searched for 3 days straight, found nothing. No body, no blood, no gear. Nothing. It was like they'd been erased." "What about locals? Did anyone see anything?" "Iraq in 2008? Nobody talked. Too dangerous." Axel was quiet, thinking. "Derek, what if the explosion didn't kill them? What if it brought the building down and they were trapped?" "We considered that, dug through everything. If they were under there, we would have found something." "Unless they weren't under there." "What do you mean?" "What if the explosion created a tunnel, a way out? What if Chen and Titan escaped through the rubble but were separated from the unit?" Derek was silent. "It's possible, I guess." But where would they go? The area was hot. If Chen was alive, he'd have been captured or killed trying to get back. Unless he was too injured to move, unless he was hiding. For 16 years? I don't know, but his dog made it back. Somehow, Titan survived 16 years and ended up in Montana. That's not random. What are you thinking? I'm thinking we need to find Chen's family, ask them questions, see if there's anything that doesn't add up. Chen's family wasn't hard to find. His mother, Linda Chen, lived in Portland, Oregon. Axel called her. Mrs. Chen, my name is Axel Martinez. I'm a veteran. I need to talk to you about your son, Michael. Long pause. My son has been gone for 16 years, Mr. Martinez. Unless you have information about his remains, I don't see what... I found Titan. Silence. What did you say? Titan. Your son's military working dog. I found him in Montana. He's alive. He heard her breath catch. That's not possible. I'm looking at him right now, Mrs. Chen. He's old. He's been through hell, but he's alive, and he still remembers Michael. I need to see him. I was hoping you'd say that. Linda Chen arrived 3 days later. She was in her 70s, gray hair, kind eyes that carried deep sadness. But when she walked into Dr. Reeves' clinic and saw Titan, those eyes filled with tears. Oh my God, that's him? That's really him. Titan was lying on a padded mat. He'd gained some weight, was stronger, but still recovering. When Linda approached, Titan lifted his head, sniffed, and something shifted in his expression. Recognition. I know this scent. This person was important to him. Linda knelt down carefully, extended her hand. Hi, Titan. I'm Michael's mom. You remember me? Titan sniffed her hand thoroughly, then pressed his head into her palm, a gesture of acceptance, trust. Michael loved you, so I trust you. Linda broke down crying. You were with him, at the end. You were with my baby. She hugged the old dog, and Titan let her. After a few minutes, Linda composed herself, looked at Axel. How is he here? How did he survive 16 years? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Mrs. Chen, can I ask you some questions? About Michael, about what happened? Of course. They sat in Dr. Reeves' office. Linda pulled out a worn folder, documents, photos, letters. After Michael was listed as MIA, I never stopped looking. I contacted every agency, every organization, hired private investigators, spent my retirement savings trying to find answers. She showed Axel photos. Michael Chen, young, smiling, in uniform, with Titan as a puppy. They trained together, deployed together. Michael used to write me letters. He'd tell me about Titan, about how smart he was, how loyal. She pulled out a letter, yellowed with age. This was his last letter, dated 3 days before he disappeared. Axel read it. Mom, Titan found another IED today. That's 15 so far. He's saved so many lives. I'm so proud of him. But Mom, something feels wrong lately, like we're being watched, like someone's planning something. If anything happens to me, promise me you'll take care of Titan. He's not just a dog, he's my brother. Love you, Michael. Axel's throat tightened. Did anything happen? Any communication after he disappeared? Linda shook her head. Nothing official, but she hesitated. But what? About 6 months after Michael was declared MIA, I got a strange package. No return address, postmarked from Turkey. Turkey? Yes. Inside was a piece of Michael's dog tags, just the bottom half, like it had been broken. Axel's pulse quickened. Do you still have it? Linda pulled it from her purse. She'd carried it for 16 years. Axel examined it. The metal was worn, weathered, but the engraving was still visible. SGTM Chen, serial number partially visible. Mrs. Chen, this is important. Dead soldiers don't mail dog tags. I know, that's why I never gave up hope. Did you tell the military? Of course. They said it could have been taken from his body. Sent by someone who found it. They wouldn't investigate further. But you didn't believe that? No. Because there was something else in the package. She pulled out a small piece of paper, faded, the handwriting barely legible. Only 3 words. Still alive, hiding. That's Michael's handwriting, Linda whispered. I'd know it anywhere. Axel stared at the note. Mrs. Chen, I think your son survived the explosion, and I think he's been trying to get back ever since. Over the next week, Axel dove deeper. He contacted Derek Walsh again, asked for names of everyone who'd been in that unit, found 6 soldiers willing to talk. Each one told the same story: the explosion, the missing bodies, the fruitless search. But one soldier, Private First Class James Rodriguez, remembered something else. There was a local kid, maybe 10 years old. He used to hang around our outpost, bring us information sometimes. What about him? A few weeks after Chen disappeared, the kid tried to talk to me, said something about the dog man, said he was in the bad place. What's the bad place? I thought he meant dead, but now I don't know, maybe he meant somewhere specific. Do you remember the kid's name? Kareem, that's all I knew. Axel reached out to veteran networks, aid organizations operating in Iraq, looking for anyone who might know a Kareem from Anbar province in 2008. It took 2 weeks. Finally, a contact came through. There's a translator in Erbil, used to work in Anbar, name's Kareem al-Rashid. He's 30 now, matches the age. Axel got a phone number, made the call. Hello? Kareem al-Rashid? Yes, who is this? My name is Axel Martinez. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I'm looking for information about a soldier who went missing in 2008. Anbar Province, Sergeant Michael Chen. Long pause. I cannot talk about this. Please, his mother is still looking for him, and I found his dog, Titan. He's alive. The dog is alive? Yes. Another pause, then quietly, I helped them. Axel's heart stopped. What? I was a boy. I saw the explosion. I saw the American soldier and his dog. They were hurt, trapped in rubble. Did you get them out? I tried. But men came. Bad men. They took the soldier. I could not stop them. What men? Insurgents. They thought he was dead at first, but then they saw he was breathing. They took him. And the dog? The dog fought, but he was hurt. He ran. I tried to follow, but lost him in the smoke. Kareem, where did they take Sergeant Chen? I do not know. I was a child. But I heard them say they were taking him to the farm. That is all I know. The farm? What's that? I do not know. I'm sorry. But Mr. Martinez... Yes? If the dog survived 16 years, maybe the soldier did too. Axel hung up. Sat in silence. Looked at Titan, sleeping peacefully for the first time in who knew how long. Your handler didn't die, did he, boy? They took him. Titan's ear twitched. And you tried to find him. For 16 years you tried. Axel pulled out his laptop, started searching for anything about POW camps, holding sites, or hidden locations in Iraq nicknamed The Farm. It took hours. But finally, he found something. A declassified CIA report from 2009. It mentioned a suspected insurgent detention site in rural Anbar province, locally referred to as The Farm. The site was raided in 2010, found abandoned. No prisoners, no bodies, no evidence. But there was a footnote. Local informants reported hearing American voices at this location between 2008-2010, unconfirmed. Axel's blood ran cold. He was there. Chen was there. And then, where did he go? If Chen had been held prisoner from 2008-2010, and then the site was abandoned, he either died there, or he escaped. But if he escaped, Axel said aloud, why didn't he come home? Titan lifted his head, looked at Axel, and in those old wise eyes, Axel saw the answer. Because he couldn't. Something stopped him. We're going to find out what, boy. I promise. That night, Axel called Linda Chen. I have news. Some of it's good. Some of it's going to be hard to hear. Tell me. I found witnesses. Michael survived the explosion, but he was taken prisoner by insurgents. Linda gasped. Prisoner? For how long? At least 2 years, maybe longer. The site where he was held was raided in 2010. It was empty. So he's dead. Maybe, or maybe he escaped. Mrs. Chen, there's a chance your son is still out there, alive somewhere. After 16 years? How? I don't know, but Titan survived 16 years, against impossible odds, and he ended up here, in Montana. That can't be coincidence. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe Chen's here too. Maybe he's been trying to come home, and maybe Titan's been trying to find him this whole time. Linda was crying. How do we find him? I'm working on it, but Mrs. Chen, I need you to prepare yourself. If Michael is alive, he's been through hell. He might not be the same person you remember. I don't care. He's my son. I just want him home. Then we'll bring him home. Finding Michael Chen became Axel's obsession. Every free moment was spent researching, calling contacts, following leads. Titan stayed by his side through all of it. The old dog was getting stronger, eating regularly, moving better. But there was something in his eyes, a waiting, a hoping. Are you going to find him? Please find him. I'm trying, boy. I promise I'm trying. 3 weeks into the search, Axel got a breakthrough. A veterans organization focused on MIA cases reached out. Mr. Martinez, my name is Colonel Sarah Hendricks, retired. I run an organization that tracks missing service members. I heard you're looking into Michael Chen. Yes, ma'am. I've been following his case for years. His mother contacted us back in 2010. We've had investigators looking, but what? There's something that never made sense. In 2012, a man matching Chen's description was spotted at a refugee camp on the Turkey-Syria border. Axel's pulse quickened. What? A volunteer doctor reported it, said the man had dog tags, spoke English, claimed to be a U.S. soldier, but he disappeared before authorities could verify. Why wasn't this investigated? It was. But by the time officials arrived, he was gone. The camp was chaotic, thousands of refugees, no records, no trace. Did the doctor remember anything else? Said the man was injured, scarred, seemed traumatized, and he kept asking about a dog, kept saying he needed to find his dog. Axel felt chills. That was Chen. Possibly, but Mr. Martinez, that was 12 years ago. The trail went cold after that. Then we pick it up again. Axel contacted the doctor who'd seen Chen, Dr. Amara Hassan, now working in Germany. She agreed to video call. Dr. Hassan, thank you for talking to me. I need to know everything you remember about the American soldier you saw in 2012. It was a long time ago, Mr. Martinez, but I remember him because he was different. Most refugees were families. He was alone, military-bearing, but also broken. Broken how? Physically, he had scars, burns, old injuries that had healed wrong. His hands shook, he limped. But mentally, that was worse. He was paranoid, jumpy, kept looking over his shoulder. Did he say what happened to him? Not much. Said he'd been held prisoner, escaped, been trying to get home for years but kept running into problems. What kind of problems? He wouldn't specify, but he was terrified of something, or someone. Did he mention a dog? Dr. Hassan's eyes widened. Yes, he was obsessed with finding his dog, said they'd been separated, said he couldn't go home without him. His dog's name was Titan. He never said a name, but he drew a picture. Here, I kept my notes. She held up a worn journal, showed a page, a sketch, rough but clear, a German shepherd with a collar, the same collar Titan was wearing when Axel found him. Dr. Hassan, where did he go after he left the camp? I don't know, he left in the night. One of the other refugees said he was heading west, trying to get to Europe. Europe? Why Europe and not straight home? He said he couldn't go through official channels, said they'd find him. I assumed he meant the people who held him prisoner. He was convinced they were still looking for him. Axel's next call was to international refugee organizations. If Chen had made it to Europe between 2012-2014, there might be records. It took weeks of searching. Finally, a match. A homeless shelter in Berlin, Germany, 2014. Records showed an American man, no ID, refused to give his name, but the intake worker had noted, former military, extensive scarring, possible PTSD. Axel called the shelter. I'm looking for information about an American man who stayed there in 2014. Sir, we have hundreds of people come through. This one was different, military, traumatized, probably asked about a dog. Long pause. Oh, him. Yeah, I remember. I was new at the time, but everyone talked about the American soldier. What happened to him? He stayed for 3 months, worked odd jobs, kept to himself. Then one day he asked me about cargo ships, said he needed to get to America but couldn't fly. Cargo ships? Yeah, I told him some ships need extra hands, under the table work. It's not legal, but it happens. Did he do it? I think so. He left after that conversation, never came back. Axel felt pieces clicking into place. If he worked on a cargo ship from Europe to America, where would it land? East Coast, usually. New York, Baltimore, Boston. Axel contacted port authorities, explaining what he was looking for seemed insane. I'm trying to track a veteran who might have entered the U.S. illegally via cargo ship between 2014 and 2016. Most people hung up. But one retired customs official listened. You're looking for ghost entries, people who slip through. It happens more than you'd think. Is there any way to track them? Not officially, but off the record, I worked Boston Harbor for 30 years. I remember a guy around 2015, American, no papers, came off a freight ship. We detained him, but he had dog tags, said he was military. What happened? We called the VA. They ran his info. System said he was dead, listed as KIA in 2008. Michael Chen. I don't remember the name. But yeah, the system said deceased, so we figured the dog tags were fake or stolen. We were going to deport him, but what? He escaped. Walked right out of holding, disappeared into the city. And nobody looked for him? We filed a report. But the guy had no criminal record, wasn't a priority. After a week, the case was closed. Axel's mind raced. If he escaped in Boston in 2015, where would he go? If he was trying to disappear, anywhere, could be anywhere in the country by now. Axel sat in his cabin, staring at a map of the United States. Boston to Montana. Why Montana? Then it hit him. Titan ended up in Montana. What if Chen did too? What if they'd both been trying to get to the same place? But why Montana specifically? Axel pulled out Chen's file again, read through everything, found it. A letter Chen had written to his mother in 2007, before deployment. Mom, if anything happens to me, I want to be buried somewhere peaceful, somewhere with mountains and quiet, maybe Montana. I've always wanted to see Montana. Love, Michael. He's here, Axel whispered. He's been here, or he's trying to get here. He looked at Titan. That's why you're here, isn't it, boy? You were trying to find him, and somehow you knew he was heading to Montana. Titan's tail wagged slightly. Yes, find him, please. Axel started searching differently. Not for Michael Chen, but for someone who fit his description. A man in his 40s, military bearing, scarred, living off the grid. He contacted homeless shelters, VA outreach programs, rural communities. For 3 weeks, nothing. Then, a call from a clinic in Kalispell, Montana, 40 miles from Axel's cabin. Mr. Martinez, you left a message asking about a veteran matching a description? Yes. We had a man come through here about 6 months ago, refused to give his name, but he had extensive scarring, military tattoos, and he asked if we'd seen a German shepherd, said he was looking for his dog. Axel's heart stopped. Where is he now? I don't know, he left after treatment, but he mentioned he was staying in the mountains, living rough. Said he couldn't stay in towns. Did he say where in the mountains? No, but another patient said they'd seen someone matching his description near the old logging roads, north of Whitefish Lake. Axel knew that area, remote, isolated, perfect for someone trying to disappear. Thank you. Thank you so much. He hung up, looked at Titan. He's close. Your handler is close. Titan stood, alert, ears forward. Find him, now. The next morning, Axel loaded his truck, supplies, food, cold weather gear, medical kit, and Titan. The old dog moved slowly into the truck, but there was energy in him that hadn't been there before. Purpose. Ash, Frost, and Rex stayed behind with a neighbor. This mission was for Titan alone. They drove north, through small towns, up mountain roads, into wilderness. Axel followed the logging roads the clinic had mentioned, drove for 2 hours, seeing nothing. Then, Titan reacted. His head snapped to the left, body went rigid. The same posture Axel had seen in the flashback story. Alert, detection. You smell something, boy? Titan whined, pawing at the window. There, he's there. Axel pulled over, let Titan out. The old dog immediately started tracking, moving through the snow, following a scent only he could detect. Axel followed. They hiked for 30 minutes, deep into the woods, off any trail. Then Titan stopped, stared ahead, and started shaking, not from cold, from emotion. Axel looked. 50 yards ahead, barely visible through the trees, a makeshift shelter, branches and tarps, smoke from a small fire, and sitting by that fire, a man, mid-40s, thin, bearded, wearing layers of worn clothing, scarred hands holding a tin cup. Axel's breath caught. "Stay, Titan." But Titan didn't stay. The old dog pulled forward, straining, whining. The man by the fire heard it. His head snapped up. He stood, slowly, like someone ready to run. Then he saw the dog and froze. "Titan?" The word was barely a whisper, but Titan heard it and exploded forward, running despite his age, despite his injuries, straight to the man. The man dropped to his knees, and the old war dog crashed into him, licking his face, whining, crying. 16 years of searching, finally over. The man wrapped his arms around Titan and broke, sobbing, holding the dog like he was the only real thing in the world. "You found me. Oh God, you found me. I looked for you. I looked everywhere." Axel approached slowly. The man looked up, defensive, scared. "Who are you?" "My name is Axel Martinez. I'm a veteran. I found Titan 3 months ago, dying in the woods. I've been trying to find you ever since." The man stared at him. "You found him? You saved him?" "Yeah." "Why? Why would you do that?" "Because he's a soldier, and soldiers don't leave soldiers behind." The man's face crumpled. "I'm Michael Chen. I've been trying to get home for 16 years. I know, your mother sent me." At the word mother, Michael's eyes filled with tears. "My mom? She's alive?" "Yes, and she never stopped looking for you." Michael Chen, missing for 16 years, presumed dead, held his dog and cried like a child. And Axel understood. Some bonds don't break, not with time, not with distance, not with war. Some bonds are forever. Michael Chen couldn't stop touching Titan, as if he needed constant proof that this was real, that his dog, his brother, was actually here. They sat by the fire, Michael on one side, Titan pressed against him on the other. Axel gave them space, let them have their moment. After 20 minutes, Michael finally spoke. "How did you find him?" "He found me. Or I found him. I'm not sure which. He was dying in the woods. I brought him to a vet, saw the collar, started asking questions." Michael looked at the old collar, still around Titan's neck after all these years. "I thought I'd never see him again. After the explosion, after they took me, I kept telling myself he got out, that he made it back, that he was safe." "What happened, Michael, after the explosion?" Michael was quiet for a long moment. "The building came down. I woke up buried in rubble. Couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Thought I was dead." His voice was hollow, distant. "Then I heard Titan, barking, digging, trying to get to me. He was trying to save you." "Yeah, but then I heard voices, not English. Titan started growling, fighting. I heard him yelp. They must have hit him. Then everything went quiet." Michael's hands shook. "They pulled me out. Thought I was dead at first. When they realized I wasn't..." He stopped. Axel didn't push. "They kept me for 2 years. Moved me around, different locations. I tried to escape 3 times. Failed every time." "How did you finally get out?" 2010. The place where they were keeping me got raided, not by Americans, rival faction. In the chaos, I ran, just ran, didn't stop for 3 days. "Why didn't you go to the authorities? Get help?" Michael's laugh was bitter. "I tried, got to a refugee camp, but I had no ID, no proof, and I was terrified. The people who took me, they had connections. I kept seeing their faces everywhere, thought they were tracking me." PTSD. "Probably, I don't know. All I knew was I couldn't trust anyone official, couldn't go through normal channels, so I just kept moving, kept hiding. For 12 years. Yeah, Europe, then cargo ship to America, Boston, then West. I kept thinking if I could just Get to Montana, if I could just find some peace. His voice broke. But I couldn't stop thinking about Titan, couldn't stop looking for him. Every shelter, every town. I'd ask about German shepherds, show people sketches. Nobody had seen him. He looked at the old dog. I thought he was dead, thought I'd lost him forever. Titan licked his hand. I never stopped looking either. How did he end up here? Michael asked. I don't know his full story, but based on his condition when I found him, he's been surviving in the wild for years. Maybe he was trying to find you too. In Montana? You said this is where you wanted to be. Maybe he sensed that. Dogs can do incredible things when they're bonded to someone. Michael buried his face in Titan's fur. 16 years. We both spent 16 years trying to find each other. And you did. Getting Michael to agree to see his mother wasn't easy. I can't face her. Not like this. Like what? Look at me, Axel. I'm a mess. I've been living in the woods like an animal. I failed. I couldn't get home. You survived 2 years as a POW, crossed an ocean, stayed alive against impossible odds. That's not failure. That's the opposite. But your mother has been searching for you for 16 years. She never gave up. And right now she's in Portland thinking you might be alive but not knowing for sure. Axel pulled out his phone, showed Michael a photo. Linda Chen, standing with Titan at the vet clinic, crying, hopeful. She needs to see you. She needs to know you made it. Michael stared at the photo. She looks old. 16 years will do that, and every one of those years she carried the weight of not knowing. Michael closed his eyes. What if I'm not the son she remembers? You're her son. That's enough. The reunion happened 3 days later. Axel had convinced Michael to come to his cabin, get cleaned up, see a doctor, prepare. Dr. Reeves examined him, confirmed what Axel suspected. Severe PTSD, malnutrition, old injuries that healed wrong, but physically he's remarkably healthy considering. Will he be okay? With time? Treatment? Support? Yeah. He's a survivor. Linda Chen flew in the next day. Axel picked her up at the airport. She was shaking. Is he really here? This isn't a mistake? He's here, he's real, and he's waiting for you. The drive to the cabin was silent. Linda's hands clasped together so tight her knuckles were white. When they pulled up, Michael was standing on the porch. Clean, shaved, wearing borrowed clothes, Titan beside him. Linda saw him through the windshield and made a sound Axel would never forget. A mother seeing her child after 16 years of grief. She was out of the car before it fully stopped. Running despite her age. Michael! Michael stepped down from the porch and his mother crashed into him, holding him, crying, repeating his name over and over. You're alive! You're alive! Oh, my baby, you're alive! Michael's military composure, the walls he'd built to survive, shattered completely. He held his mother and cried like he hadn't cried in 16 years. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I tried to get back. I tried. Shh, you're home now. You're home. They stood there for 15 minutes, just holding each other. Axel and Titan watched from a distance, giving them space. Finally, Linda pulled back, looked at her son's face, touched his scars gently. What did they do to you? It doesn't matter. I'm here now. Because of him. Linda looked at Titan. He led them to you, didn't he? In a way, yeah. Linda knelt down, hugged the old dog. Thank you. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for bringing my son home. Titan's tail wagged. This is what I was supposed to do. The military confirmation took weeks. DNA tests, interviews, documentation. But eventually, it was official. Sergeant Michael Chen, listed as missing in action since 2008, found alive in Montana 2024. The news went national. POW survives 16 years, reunites with military dog. K-9 partner leads veteran home after decade-long search. The collar that solved a 16-year mystery media wanted interviews. Chen refused most, but he agreed to one. A military podcast focused on MIA cases. Axel listened to the recording. The interviewer asked, "What kept you going for 16 years?" Michael's answer was simple. Titan. I couldn't stop looking for him. And somewhere deep down, I knew he was looking for me too. That bond, it doesn't break. Not with time, not with distance, not with anything. And now that you found each other, now I can finally rest. We both can. Michael moved into a small house near Axel's cabin, not ready for city life, not ready for crowds, but ready to heal. He started therapy, worked with the VA, began processing 16 years of trauma. It was slow, hard. Some days he couldn't get out of bed, but Titan was always there. The old dog had found his purpose again, taking care of his handler, like he'd been trained, like he'd never stopped trying to do. One afternoon, Axel visited, found Michael sitting on his porch, Titan beside him, both of them looking peaceful. "How you doing?" "Better. Today was a good day." "Yeah?" "Yeah, Titan and I went for a walk, just a short one, but it felt normal. For the first time in 16 years, something felt normal." Axel sat down. "I'm glad." They sat in comfortable silence. Then Michael said, "I never thanked you properly." "For what?" "For not giving up. For finding me. For bringing us back together. I didn't do it alone. Titan did most of the work. He's the one who survived, who kept going. I just followed the trail he left." Michael looked at his dog. "He's old now. The vet says maybe a year left, maybe less." "I know. But he waited. He waited until he found me." Michael's voice cracked. "How do I repay that? How do I give him back what he gave me?" "You already are. You're here. You're alive. You're healing. That's all he ever wanted." Titan's tail thumped against the porch. "Yes, this is enough." 6 months later, Axel received a call from Michael. "Can you come over? I need your help with something." When Axel arrived, Michael had a surprise. "I've been working with the VA, and I want to start something." "What?" "A program. For MIA families, and for retired military working dogs, bringing them together, giving them both purpose." He showed Axel a proposal. "The Titan Project, connecting lost warriors. We find retired canines, ones that are aging out, ones that shelters don't want because they're too old, and we connect them with MIA families, give them both a mission, never stop hoping, never stop searching." Axel read through it. "This is incredible. You inspired it. What you did for me, for Titan, it saved 2 lives. Imagine if we could do that for dozens, hundreds. I'm in, whatever you need." Michael smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that." 1 year later, the Titan Project had helped connect 43 families with retired military working dogs. 3 of those connections had led to breakthroughs in MIA cases. One soldier, missing since Afghanistan, had been found in a remote village, suffering from amnesia. His military dog's presence had triggered memories that solved the case. The program was growing, expanding, and Michael Chen, once lost himself, was now helping others find their way home. But on a quiet April morning, something changed. Axel got a call. "It's time." Michael's voice was thick. "I'll be right there." Titan was lying in his bed, breathing shallow. He'd made it to 15 years old, a miracle for a German shepherd, especially one who'd lived the life he'd lived. Michael sat beside him, hand on his head. "Hey boy, I'm here. I'm right here." Titan's eyes opened. "Found Michael. I found you. I did my job." "You did more than your job. You saved me, in every way possible." Titan's tail moved slightly. Linda Chen was there too. Axel, Dr. Reeves, all of them gathered to say goodbye to a warrior. "You can rest now," Michael whispered. "Your mission is complete. You brought me home. You gave me back my life." Titan looked at him with those wise, knowing eyes. "Will you be okay without me?" "I'll be okay, because you taught me how. You never gave up, so I won't either." Dr. Reeves prepared the injection. Michael held Titan close. "Thank you, my brother, for everything, for never stopping, for finding me, for showing me what loyalty really means." Titan rested his head in Michael's lap. At peace, mission complete, handler safe. We can rest now. "I love you, Titan, always. and surrounded by people who'd loved him, who'd searched for him, who'd brought him home. Titan closed his eyes one last time. They buried him on Axel's property, on a hill overlooking the mountains, the same view Titan had seen every day while searching for his handler. Michael placed the old collar, the one that had solved a 16-year mystery, on top of the grave. Beside it, he placed his own dog tags. Brothers, forever. Linda Chen placed flowers. Axel and Dr. Reeves stood witness, and Michael spoke. This dog did what no one thought possible. He survived alone for years, never stopped searching, never stopped believing, and he brought me home. His voice broke. The world will remember him as a hero, but to me, he was just my best friend. Thank you, Titan, for everything. 6 months later, final scene. The Titan Project memorial service was packed, over 200 people, MIA families, veterans, retired military working dogs with their new handlers. Michael Chen stood at the podium, stronger now, healed, not fixed. Trauma doesn't work that way, but whole. A year and a half ago, a veteran named Axel Martinez found my dog dying in the Montana wilderness. That dog was wearing a collar from a war that ended over a decade ago. He held up the collar, showed it to the crowd. This collar started a search that brought me home after 16 years. That reunited a mother with her son. That proved some bonds can't be broken. He looked at Linda Chen in the front row. She smiled through tears. But more than that, Titan showed us something the world needs to remember. That loyalty isn't conditional. That love doesn't have an expiration date. That some missions don't end just because time passes. He gestured to the retired military working dogs in the audience. These dogs served our country, and when they age out, when they're no longer useful, they're often forgotten, discarded. The Titan Project changes that. We give them new missions, new purposes. We connect them with families who are still searching for answers, and together, they heal each other. The crowd applauded. In the past year, we've connected 68 dogs with families. We've helped solve 4 MIA cases. We've given dozens of warriors, both human and canine, a reason to keep fighting. He pulled out a photo. Titan, young, strong, in Iraq with Michael. This is what I want you to remember. Not the old dog, not the 16 years of struggle, but this, a warrior in his prime, doing what he was born to do, protecting, serving, loving. That's who Titan was. That's who all these dogs are. And they deserve to be remembered, honored, given purpose until their very last day. He looked at Axel in the audience. Someone once told me, soldiers don't leave soldiers behind. That includes the ones with 4 legs. Axel nodded, smiled. Michael concluded, Titan's gone, but his legacy lives on. Every dog we save, every family we help, every answer we find. That's Titan's mission continuing. So if you're watching this, if you're struggling, if you feel lost, remember Titan. Remember that he searched for 16 years and never gave up. And neither should you. The crowd rose, standing ovation, and somewhere, Axel liked to think, an old German shepherd was watching. Mission complete, handler safe, legacy secured, rest easy, warrior. If this story moved you, you need to know something. There are real military working dogs aging out right now. Heroes who served our country. Many end up in shelters because they're too old or too damaged. There are real families still searching for MIA service members, living with questions that have no answers. What you can do, like this video if you believe heroes deserve better, human and canine. Comment below. Tell us about someone who never gave up on you, or someone you never gave up on. Subscribe to K9. Valor stories, because there are dozens more stories like this that need to be told. Share with a veteran, with someone searching, with someone who needs to know that some bonds really are unbreakable. Support organizations that help retired military working dogs and MIA families. Adopt retired service dogs. They still have so much to give.